The pledge also talk about the woman's side of it. Now, the woman pledges to the man. Her vows are to love, honor, and obey. So the love is defined, it's rooted in honor, and the honor is rooted in obedience. And I know some people are probably listening to this hoping I'm going to do what I did with worship and say, well, it's not worship, it's worship, and a little bit different. Obedience means obedience. It literally, there's no way to swing that word. That's what it means. And I know that that triggers a lot of women, that hits in the wrong way, and it's not by accident. The devil knows what he's doing. And this is what I'm going to say. If I went to, if I went in front of a whole bunch of people, a whole bunch of married couples, healthy, just average ones, and I said to the men, how many of you guys here are obeying your wife about something in your life somewhere? Anything. How you make the bed, whether you have throw pillows or not, whether the toilet paper goes this way or that way on the roll, you have a to-do list, something like that. Every man in that place would be obeying his wife on something. If you say, she's right about this, I let her do, balance the checkbook, she's better at math, something. There'd be places, she's better at us as a mother, there'd be places where you'll absolutely, I obey my wife. Yeah, we don't use that phrasing because we're head, but you're delegating, whatever you want to call it, easily. But if I went to most women and I said, where are you obeying your husband? They wouldn't know. They would have to be like, I don't obey him anywhere, but I love him. And I would say, no, you don't. Not as a man. There's no way that you can love a man without respecting him. It's an insult. It's an insult to say, I pity you enough to love you nutless man that has nothing worthy of respect. That's what it is. You are a gelding. You are a vassal. It's nothing. It's so intensely insulting. A man could never accept love if it came with disrespect. It's over. To try to say, I love you, but I'll never respect you because you're a weak, pathetic man. A man, that's over. That's an unforgivable sin for a man. Like literally, we cannot move forward in this relationship until you take that back. Until you don't mean that anymore, there is no hope. That we cannot pass go. We got to fix that. It's the same way if you went to your wife and you said, I love you, babe, but you're a worthless hag. You're disgustingly ugly. I don't want to touch you. I don't want to smell you. I don't want you in my bed. I don't want you anywhere near me, but I love you and you're a good mom and I'm going to keep you around. Sorry, bud, you've killed that. And that is the unforgivable sin of that marriage for her. A woman cannot be with a man who thinks she's ugly. This is not possible to just be like, I do not find you attractive on any level. Emotionally, I think your laugh's annoying. I think your face is ugly. Your body's wonky. Like if you were just like, I hate everything about you in the attraction department, but I still love you, you'd be like, no, you don't. What is left? For a woman, there's nothing left. For a man to look at him and say, you're a garbage leader. I literally trust you with nothing. I will obey you in nothing. Is the same. It is such an incredible slap in the face to a man, no matter how, whatever he's trying to be, how soft soy boy he's trying to be, that his soul is being pierced by it. You're slapping him in the face and calling him a B and thinking that he likes it. He don't like it. I can tell you right now he doesn't like it. He might be dealing with it, but that's just a question of how hard up he is, I guess. I don't know, man, because it's traumatically bad for a man. A man is built to be a leader. And that's how men love each other. That's how a father loves a son, how a son loves a father, how brothers love each other, is we trust each other with jobs. I know you can handle this. Go ahead. I'm giving you something or I'm taking your advice. I'm going to obey you on this, bro. I don't get it, but I'm going to do it your way. That's love for a man. It's saying, I trust in your leadership. I trust in your strength. I trust in your integrity. I got your back. Right? You want to really see a man just kind of glow as he goes, I need help. I can't tell you what's going on. I can't tell you why we're going to do it, but it's going to be dangerous. You might get in trouble. And the guy goes, where are we going? It hits a man somewhere because he goes, you trust me as a leader even when you don't understand. Even if I'm not the leader, in the big picture of life, in this area, you're honoring me that way. And that's where honor comes from. It's in there. So there's a lot of women, right? They'll come, like Father's Day, there's going to be a lot of posts. I honor you as head of our family and I respect you so much. Honey, if you obey him in nothing, he knows that's crap. That's just like him saying, I cherish you. And you go, you wish I was different. You wish I was somebody else. If you could chop me up like Frankenstein and switch out parts of my personality, you would change me. You don't cherish me. You're hoping for a trade-in on some level. Your love is hollow. In the same way, you're going up to your man. I love you. I respect you. I honor you, but I obey you in nothing. Come on, bro. Come on. I watched this clip the other day. It was crazy. It was a reel. And it was this lady picking tomatoes at a stall. Looking at them. Nah, not good enough. Well, that's a keeper. She puts it in the bag. She's doing this, right? And her husband goes up, tries to pick. Oh, here's a good one. Hands it to her. She looks at it. Not good enough. And she does that like for a while. And then you can see the suspicion going. And so without her noticing, he reaches into the bag of keeper tomatoes. She's already said they're good enough. He pulls them out and then he acts like he found it and hands it to her. She looks at it. No. And he does it over and over. It's not a one-off. It's not like, oh, she missed the mark on one and kept it and she shouldn't have. It's not that. This is good enough when she picks it. When he sneaks it out and hands it to her, it's not. Why? Because I don't obey a man. That would lessen me as a woman to obey a man in anything. Can you imagine if anybody else was in a situation? I'm in partnership with some business partner, whatever, but I refuse to admit he is better than me in anything. I am better than him in everything that he does. And I won't let him do anything. And I'm certainly not going to let him tell me what I'm supposed to do in anything. That ain't a partnership. You certainly don't respect that person. You despise that person. Everything you're doing despises them. And you know what you call it? When you despise a person who doesn't deserve it to fit in with your girlfriends, you're a bully. That's what a bully does. I'm going to tear you down not because you deserve it, but because if I'm kind to you in a way they don't approve of, they won't accept me. That's garbage. But there's so many women that are raised under that. And they act like, oh, it would really break my heart if I had a happy marriage. And they didn't like it. No, you're hanging on the driftwood, honey. You have a happy marriage. You're not going to give a crap what anybody else says about it. You look at them like, what? Who are you talking about? Triple divorcee looking at me? Get out of here. You know nothing. You know nothing, Deborah. Get out of here. They're hanging on the driftwood. They're saying obey our driftwood rules. It doesn't matter. Now I know I'm not gonna apologize for scripture. It says obey him in everything. That's the standard. I know that's a bridge too far for most women. What I would say is this: can you defend obeying him in nothing? You can't. It's ridiculous. There's not another woman in your life you don't obey him on something. It's insanely off for you to not obey him on. I don't trust your lead. I won't trust you with the toilet paper roll. I don't listen to you in anything, but I love and respect you. No, you don't. That's toxic. Cut it out. Stop pretending that's good. It ain't good. So what I would challenge a woman with is obey him in something. Not to obey him in everything. I mean, that's your sin between you and God. I'm saying is how can you excuse it if you're not willing to obey him in one thing? Obey him in one thing. Find something. Find something where if you're honest with yourself, he's better than me at this. Doesn't matter what it is. Could be fixing the gutter. Could be making a decision financially about an investment. You can sit there and say, yeah, it's kind of weird because I know I'm going to screw this up more than him because I'm not as good, but I'm way more comfortable doing it my way and screwing it up more than trusting him with it. And I'll just go, but he could make a mistake. Yeah, but he's going to make less mistakes. He's better than you at it. It's not that he's going to be perfect. He's just better than you at this. That exists, right? He's better at you than some. Come on. A lot of women, it's a struggle to get them to admit it, but eventually they'll go, yeah, he is, but he's better at math or whatever. He's better at this. Go, okay, let him be the leader there. One thing. Just one thing. I'm not saying throw him a bone. I'm not saying come and say, well, I guess I'm going to let you do this, and when you screw up, I'll step in again. And don't act like you're doing him a favor by letting him be the leader that God made him to be. Don't do that. What I'm saying is you go up to him and say, babe, I can tell you've been wanting to step up as a leader in our marriage here with this financial thing, whatever it is. And I realized I've been really resistant to that. And I sat back and I looked at it and I realized that's really unfair. I should be listening to you on things. I definitely should be obeying you on something. And you know what? You're better than this at me. You're at least as good and probably better at this than me. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to submit to your leadership here. Even if I don't get it, even if I don't understand it, even if I disagree with it, I'm just going to trust you as a leader and do what you say. That's how you do it. You do that with your husband, and here's the hard part, okay? There's several things you're going to learn in this process, women. Number one, you're going to learn that you suck at doing that. You think you're good at it because you've never done it. You've never really trusted a guy to do something. And what you're going to realize, you're going to try to do that with your husband. You might say the right words, but then you're going to be sitting there stressed out beyond, and you're going to be hovering and, are you sure you thought about this? Did you think about, and you're going to nag the crap out of that guy. And what I need you to do is say, that didn't count. I've been humbled. I need to go back to God and say, help me actually do this. Help me actually trust him enough to truly obey him, to truly surrender this thing to him and let go. That's the job. I let go of it. It's his problem. He's handling it. I'm out. So there's going to be this great humility. And guess what? This is where you're going to start realizing maybe marriage is a sacrament for women too, because maybe God wants to do things and I want, even though he's better at it than I am, I still can't give it to him. I can't trust him. I can't surrender. I can't obey him. You go, maybe I'm just lying to myself that I'm obeying God so well, because if I can't do it with a human being, what's the chances that I'm really doing it with this? Maybe I'm imaginary friending this thing a little bit and I'm deceiving myself, right? Maybe that's what's going on. Like the man thinking he's I'm bearing the cross, I'm dying, I'm a martyr for Christ right now in my life, but you're not doing anything for your wife. Hello, probably not true, right? Same thing here. You're so obedient to Jesus, but you can't obey your husband on one thing. I think you're lying to yourself. I think the devil's got you. Obey him in one thing. First thing you're going to realize is, man, it's really hard to do. I'm not good at this. It stretches me. Something's got to break off. But then once you get through that, that's going to be rough. There's going to be cost on the front end. Once you actually have let this go to the man, what you're going to have is there's going to be a couple of things that's going to happen. One, this incredible relief is going to rush over you. Because you've been living both sides of the marriage. You've been handling all the things. You're just fear and stress just grinding you all the time. Because guess what? You're not supposed to be the husband and the wife in the marriage. You're just supposed to be the wife. But you don't trust the husband to do anything. So you're doing it all. And you're like, go sit over. It's like when a kid, I don't trust you to do any of it, son. Go stand in the corner. You're going to break something. And then at the end you go, you lazy jerk. You didn't do anything today. They're like, you didn't let him do anything. And this is what a lot of marriages in the United States look like. She won't let the man do anything. He has to decide, am I going to bully my way into this and come off like a sexist? This is my thing. Get out of here. Or is he going to let the woman geld him and say, go sit in the corner? And then what does he do? He goes to work. He comes home. He does nothing. And she goes, he's just a child. Have you ever, I know you swore before God that you would make him at least an equal partner. You probably said partner in your made up vows. But, a lot of Christians, he's the spiritual head. I'm going to go, that's not what, you're mispronouncing that word. It's not spiritual. It's imaginary. That's what you're trying to say. Spiritual is invisible, but real and fruitful, and it's undeniable. Imaginary it's not real except in my imagination. I just want to believe it, but it's not really true on any level. He's your imaginary head. How is that true anywhere but you're in your imagination? It's not. If it was spiritual, it would be true in an eternal way. It would be more real than what's visible. And it would be visible in its fruit. So it's just a terrible position that a man is put in that situation. I think you should stand up saying, well, I'm taking my part anyways. But for a woman to bless a marriage, to grow in it, she's got to yield it to the man. She's got to trust the man to do it. And then when she does, all of a sudden it's hard to do that. But once she gets on the other side, she goes, wow, I feel like way better. Like it feels like I was stressed. It's like I had 40 plates spinning and I let him do one of the plates. And it's a little bit easier to do the rest of the plates now. It's kind of nice to have someone help me. It's kind of nice to say I'm not responsible for that. He is. That's his problem. He's got it. And you're going to feel it kind of melt off of you and go, oh, I have more energy. I'm more at peace to do these other things. Now, here's the third thing. You're going to realize you're not very good at it. It's a stretch. You're going to realize that, man, it's really nice for somebody to take up some of the workload here and take some responsibility. Even though it's freaky to give over the responsibility, it's nice once it's done. The third thing that's going to happen is, even begrudgingly, you're going to start respecting this man. The reason you don't respect your man is you don't let him do anything. It's hard to respect somebody who does nothing, right? If you had a dad, he didn't trust you to do anything, never got respect for you. How could he have respected you? He never gave you a chance. What will happen is, if you give a man a job, I can almost guarantee you what's going to happen when you give this man a job. Number one, it's almost going to be irritating how quickly he gets good at it. You know, it's like when men diet. It's like he stopped drinking soda and lost 25 pounds. I'm only eating rice cakes and I haven't lost anything. It's one of those things. It's not really fair. But most men, unless there's some trauma that keeps them from learning or something like that, most men, they put their mind to something, they just get good at it really fast. And it's just going to kind of rip away this whole idea. Well, he's inferior. He's a caveman. He's a stupid monkey that can't do anything. This feminist view of men, it's going to get blown up because you're like, dang, man, I keep throwing jobs at him and he just kills it, man. He's not perfect, but he figures it out faster than I did. That's going to be one part that clicks in. But this is the part that's really going to buy in the respect here. He does it. He does it well. This is the part that really gets the respect from a woman. You're going to see him take on the responsibility that crushed you. It just ground you down day after day. Oh, the freaking pressure of this. You're going to hand it over to your husband. He's going to do just as good of a job of you, not better. And he's going to learn it faster than you learned it most of the time. But the crazy thing is, he's going to take that on and it's going to stress him out. You're going to be like, doesn't it bother you? No, I feel great. That's the power that men have, the ability to take on responsibility, and it makes them feel better about themselves. In fact, the only way that you can crush a man under stress is by taking away responsibility from him and making him feel powerless and useless. That's what stresses a man out. That's what will kill him. That's what will eat him up with anxiety. I'm powerless. I got nothing to do. You give him responsibility. You give him a place where he can do the job he's created to do. You can be the leader that he's meant to be. And he gets better. The thing that crushed you helps him. And right around there, you're going to start getting respect for this man. You're like, man, look at him get that done. It's going to be a little sexy. You're going to be a little, whole thing's going to start happening over there where it's going to start blessing your marriage. And then this little thought's going to pop into your brain where you go, maybe that's his job and it always was. Maybe marriage isn't this thing where it doesn't matter who does what, because we're all equally good, except he sucks at everything and I'm better than him at everything, but we're equal somehow. Maybe this whole thing the world's telling us is a lie. Maybe there are things that, yeah, I can do them, but it's going to eat my soul. And I give it to him, and it actually makes him happier to be able to do it. And maybe there are things that I do that if I gave him to do it, he would be like, I'm Butterfingers, this sucks. I feel I can't do it, because it's a womanly thing. But if I do it, I actually feel great. I actually felt a little bit deprived when I wasn't allowed to do that. Right? Women will complain, why can't a man give birth? I guarantee you, if a man gave birth and that was taken away from women, they're like, you stole something from me, right? Because it is yours. It is your thing. If your husband could, and your husband can, you could get a shot and he could breastfeed your baby. As much as people complain about it, if your husband did it, you would feel like something was stolen from you. Because there are roles that we have. And the weird thing is, the wisdom of the ages, the wisdom of Scripture, the wisdom of God, as unpalatable as it is in this modern age, will slowly win you over by the fact that it freaking works. It works so much better than any of the crap out there, and it will grind you down by just how enjoyable it is. And you'll give away one thing and say, he's handling it. Dang, he looks good handling it, man. Look at him handle. You'll kind of look at you, look at my man handling that over there. The whole thing will start happening. And then eventually your brain will say, it was really hard to give him it, but it was really worth it. I'm really nervous about giving him this, but maybe I should. And you'll give him another thing. I want to obey you on this too, babe. Give me some time. I got to work it out with Jesus. It's going to be really hard to let this go. But you push through. And once you get that initial investment down, die to yourself with Christ a little bit, and you hand him off, and you really let go. He's doing it. He tells me what I'm supposed to do, and I just do it. I don't think about it. It's on him. And then what happens? Those same things happen to a little bit deeper. And slowly you go from, I do 90% in this marriage. I won't let him do anything anymore. To, now I gave him 25. I gave him 35. I gave him 50. We're true partners now. And then you go, I don't want to stop. And you keep giving until all of a sudden it's like, no, this is mine. I can't give it to him. Something's off here in my conscience. This is for me. And you'll realize that guy's supposed to be carrying most of this marriage. And you let him carry, and you carried 90%. And it was completely backwards. And the devil set you up to grind you to death. And all of a sudden, you're like, I don't have to. It's not a thing where you're either a pathetic loser woman or you're a hyper competent, stressed lady with like a vein popping on her head. There is this carefree woman who is blossoming, and she's causing her whole world to blossom. And she can only do that under the covering of a husband who's allowed to do the job. You made a promise that he would be able to do that when you married him. And then you threw the IKEA manual away and did it all yourself. And the thing's teetering because that's not the right way. And the big problem is your man can only bear the insult for so long. It doesn't mean that he's guaranteed gonna cheat on you or divorce you. It happens a lot more than you'd think. But it's not a guarantee that it's gonna go that particular way. But I guarantee you that man's heart is gonna get shut. He's gonna shut the door to you. He's gonna write you off. You're going to be furniture in his life. You're not going to be a real person at some point because you're constantly spitting in his face. Because what women are taught to say to men constantly is they're told, you can love him, you can affirm him, you can say, you go girl to him, you can do all the girl things. But the one thing you have to consistently say is, I can do everything without you. I do not need you. And there is no insult that's worse to a man than to constantly say, I don't need you. I wouldn't even miss you if you were gone. I don't need you. I don't trust you. I'm better at everything than you. I will never obey you. It's all the same thing. It's garbage and it's poison. And so I know it's true. God's absolutely right. You should obey him in everything. You'll find out some truth about yourself in that process. A wise husband will realize there are areas where your counsel outweighs his, and he will give you stewardship over things, and that's how it's going to go. But that doesn't take away from the fact that that's what God says, and that's what you should be doing. It's a sin not to do it. If you're a Christian woman, you really have to explain yourself on that one. But I know that's too much for most women. So I start right here and say, find something to obey him in, and see if God is not proven faithful. See if your sin is not exposed. See if the self-sabotage that you just repented of in this area being replaced by obedience to God in this area doesn't bear so much fruit. You go, I've been a fool, and you're ready to take the next step. I guarantee you it'll start changing your marriage. I guarantee you you'll be like, I try to love my husband and he's always slapping away my love. He's not slapping away your love. He's slapping away the disrespect that's mixed into your love. There's no way I love you. I just don't trust you to do anything, and I obey you in nothing. That's your problem. And believe me, the moment when your husband will be suspicious if you've been doing this a long time, just like you're suspicious of him if he starts really communicating more with you. Go, I don't know if I believe it. You got to wait and see. Got to get some healing probably from the Lord too. But when you start loving your man the way that God wants you to, you start obeying him in something, and the respect, genuine respect, not invented respect, not I choose to respect because it looks good on Facebook to other women, I'm being a good godly woman thing. No, it's real. It bubbled up from I took the risk. I obeyed him. I let him lead. I took the risk of investing in his leadership, and it paid off. And the honor, the respect, I can't stop it. It's rising up inside of me. And so when I honor him, it sings. And I thought about this, like the gestures of cherishing, all these things where we give flowers, we open doors, we do all these things. And then I thought about the gestures of honor. We just don't do them in most of them anymore. Like a gesture of honor that's in my family, in my immediate family, my wife makes my plate for me at dinner and brings it to me and sets it before me. So like literally serves me dinner. And it's a weird thing, but it's totally, for her, it's not some weird dead pattern. It's literally growing out of this incredible respect that she has for me. And this is one way to communicate her honor to me. in a lot of situations that would land completely flat. If I just told her, bring Danny his dinner, it wouldn't work if he knows the woman doesn't listen to me for nothing. She's only listening because it's Philip. She wouldn't have listened to me if I told her to do it, and it would be completely empty of meaning. You can learn the love languages. You can give the flowers and the chocolates. You can do all of these things. But if the love isn't rooted where it's supposed to be rooted, people will see through it. If you aren't valuing your wife as the only one for you, you're decaying. Your marriage is poisoned mortally. There's no way to overcome that without going back and fixing that. If you don't trust the man you married enough to listen to him, that is a problem you can't ignore away. You can't wallpaper over that problem. Your problem is, one, you didn't have the guts to get married, or at least the guts to marry the guy that you did marry, and now you don't want to follow through with the covenant and obey it. Well, that's fine. You want to get divorced, you want to give up on it, that's your choice. But if you want to live up to what you promised God, I guarantee you won't regret it. Whether you're man or woman, stand up, do the thing that God calls you to do in your marriage. You will not regret it. It will do what it's supposed to do if you will do what you're supposed to do. Now, the interesting part is the man pays the dowry. He should be taking the lead in this. I'm going to fulfill my vows to you. I'm going to do it. And I'm going to plight my troth. I'm going to risk it. And that's what I'm doing. But the woman answers it with her vows. And interestingly enough, she says it slightly different. She doesn't plight her troth. She gives it. She gives her troth, which is interesting because it puts it in the past tense. If you're plighting your troth, you're saying, I will risk myself from this day forth to be faithful to you and to keep all the promises I've made. The woman comes in and says, I have kept my promise and I give you it. Why would they say that? Because so much of what a man brings to a marriage, it's the power behind the vows. It's what pushes it, is he sacrifices himself. I give my life for you. It's a constant forward movement. I bleed for you today. I bleed for you tomorrow. And that's how a man invests in his marriage. Now, if he invests smartly, he'll invest this way in these vows. But the investment has to be there. I have to sacrifice myself in this way. And it will be a sacrifice to hold her as more worthy than anyone else. It will be a sacrifice to pour yourself out for her as an investment in that worthiness, to cherish her, to care for her, to love her. It will be a sacrifice. So there's going to be opportunity for that. But for the woman, when she comes in to obey, to honor, to love, that's being pushed forward by a different kind of investment. And it's somewhat past tense. It's interesting. I give you my troth. She's saying, I've treasured something up, and now I give it to you in perpetuity. Now, the most obvious way of interpreting this is that the woman is saying, you are saying you will be faithful to me from this point on. I'm saying I have been faithful in saving myself up to this moment. It would be a chastity, virginity comment. And that's definitely true. That's definitely the symbol there. But it's more than that. How a woman invests in a marriage, very different. A man invests in a marriage by going out and bleeding for her. And there are things that are symbolic of it. If you go out and you chop some wood and your wife looks out there, that's sexy man work. She's seeing you literally sweat, maybe bleed, doing something for her, put some wood in the stove. And there's something where she's going to go, he's investing. She's going to feel it in her bones. And that needs to be out. That's just an example. That's just an expression of it. But that's what being a man in a marriage looks like. You go out and you bleed for your wife. That's what you do. That you plight your troth. A woman gives her troth. It's something that she has preserved and protected, and then she yields it to you. It's not risked. It's sheltered and then bestowed. Now, the example of that is like virginity, that the woman, I have not given myself to anyone else. I have protected this and I give it to you. I understand in our culture, not too many women do that anymore. I'm not trying to villainize that. I'm just saying this is the image, and there's a real blessing in when women do that. That's a good thing. But there's a deeper truth to it. There are a lot of women, like even back in the day, it wasn't that hard for a woman to keep her virginity when they were doing these vows. They got married when they were 16. They were under their father's thumb the whole time. They got married off real quick. It wasn't that hard. You had to really really had to be a loose woman to lose it. Essentially back then, it was really, you'd have to be going through some things or something. That was not the fullness of the promise. It's a symbol of the promise. The way a woman invests in marriage is she holds back something of herself and she gives it to no one but you. And there is something about that that is profoundly meaningful to a man, and it's something we've completely gotten rid of in American Western society. But there is something, it's modesty is what it is. Modesty, we act like modesty is shame. That's how we rephrased it. You're ashamed of your body. You're covering up your bosoms. You're hiding yourself. Be proud, girl. Flaunt it or whatever. And that is not what modesty is. Modesty isn't shame. Modesty is I know how precious this is, and I won't give it to anyone but who it is supposed to go to. That's what it is. That's what's symbolized in virginity, is saying like sex is this powerful act and I'm saving myself. I'm saving this thing to give it to my husband. And even after I give it to him, I'm going to continue to give it to him and I'm going to continue not to let anyone else have it. But it's deeper than that. There are parts of your wife she's not supposed to share with anybody. There are parts of her humor. There's parts of her intelligence. There's parts of her that literally she hides in modesty and says, I don't open up this level of friendship with my friends. I don't open up this level of connection with my parents or with my children. This is for my husband alone. And when you do that, it's profound. Now, most men, we're satisfied with you cover up your nakedness and then we go in the room and you uncover your naked and we take it cheap. And it costs us because it's cheap. And women have accepted that and they're going and showing their stuff to everybody else anyways. They're on OnlyFans making money for their family doing that. It's like, how far can we get from this? But there is a profound movement in women when they realize there is something precious to me. There's something precious inside of me. It's something sacred. Like back in the day, a lot of times it was symbolized by women's hair. And they would literally cover their hair. And the only person who would ever see their hair, their veil taken off, is their husband in the bed. They would go and braid their hair, put smells in their hair, do all this stuff. And then they cover up so nobody else got to see it. And then they would take that off for their husband alone. He's the only one who got to see it. I'm not saying that's a great idea for now. I'm just saying, do you understand the symbolism there? Do you understand what's supposed to be happening in a marriage? And do you understand how that's a sacrament to God? Do you understand that that's what God asks of all of us? Is to say, I trust what will happen at the wedding feast of the Lamb. I trust the bliss of that over selling myself, selling my body, selling my heart cheap to the world for pleasure. And instead, I'm going to keep back. It's not fun being a virgin. It's not fun saying, I ain't joining in. I'm saving this up for something better. It's a sacrifice. It's an act of faith to conceal something in modesty and say, I could really shine. I could really sell myself. I could get up there, start a Facebook thing, and I could start a podcast, and I could show everybody how much I could sparkle and how amazing of a man I am. Look, behold the oak of righteousness. Or I could be modest in the way I could hide myself the way God's hiding me, and He only sees what has been purchased in my heart. He only sees what's being formed in my prayer closet. I hide it in modesty. I give it to Him alone, and it becomes the foundation of intimacy in our relationship, that it's for Him and it's Him alone forever. And that's reflected in marriage with the woman. There's a physical side to it, and I'm not trying to diminish that. That's a real part. Virginity is something we should be encouraging all of our daughters towards. Save that. It makes a difference. It creates huge problems if you don't. God is good. He can heal. He can forgive. If mistakes were made, that can be put in the past. But it's even deeper than that reality. As a wife, you should be concealing part of yourself for your husband alone. And a big problem with women in the world is they've essentially given up on intimacy with their husband and they sell themselves to everything else. Even if they're being good on the sexual, physical side, there's still anything else they will trade it for some attention out in the world. There is nothing where they say, the best part of me I hold back and nobody else knows about it except him. And it's profoundly important. I give thee my troth. It's a profound thing. Because it's an act of incredible faith. I saved the best part of myself for you, and now I'm going to give it to you. And just like you are giving her your future, you're going to bleed and die for her, and you're not sure she's going to keep her end. She's going to give the secret of her heart to you. And you could just use it up and throw her away. And then, yeah, she could get remarried, but it's not the secret. Somebody else knows about it. Somebody else has had it. Somebody else has used it. It's only good for the first time you give it, right? And whatever that thing is, whatever, and it could be blood washed, redeemed, the whole thing that God does. But there's an essential part of the feminine role in marriage where there's a secret place in your wife's heart that only you are supposed to know. And when she learns to preserve that and to give that, even if she hasn't been closed off, she shares it with her friends, whatever it is, she brings it back under the cover and she hides it and she begins to practice modesty on all levels. Modesty isn't just this physical thing. It's on all levels. I'm going to hide the parts of myself that are most pure, most beautiful. I'm going to give it to one person forever. Nobody else knows about it because this relationship matters than all the rest of them. And that has to be there. For a man, your relationship to him has to be the biggest relationship in your life among humans. You got to look at it and say, there are things I don't show my kids that I give freely to my husband. That's important. Just like with God, he's got to be the one. It's not that you can't have other love relationships, but there has to be parts of you I only give to God. He is my everything. This is the most important relationship, and that's necessary too. Let me wrap this up. I had a couple things written here. This is what the church is called to love not this world or this life, but to love Jesus, knowing that we cannot have the fullness of his promise now. We just have the first fruits. And then at the wedding feast of the Lamb, we get the fullness of it. That's that modesty. That's the virginity of heart that the whole church is holding back, is we're not pursuing fullness of life on this earth because we're holding it back for him. It's an incredible risk. It's an incredible risk to, like, if you're a virgin, like, I'm just not going to enjoy this whole physical side of my life because I'm holding out for the right man. What if he never comes? You just emptied your life of something. But that's the risk. That's how we jump into that. This is the trust. That we trust him to be better than anything that we give up. That we trust him to be better than anything we've ever asked for or even imagined. He's better than all these things. We find that fact. We don't pretend it. We find that fact. We walk it out by faith. It bears fruit that confirms its reality. We live for him. We die for him. And marriage is the royal path of learning that way of love. You are not going to learn how to lay down your life for Christ by not doing it for your wife. And she's not going to learn how to obey Christ by not obeying you, by not surrendering to you. And you're going to learn both sides. That's the crazy thing. And your kids are going to learn it by osmosis, just by being around it. And your church, if your church is full of these marriages instead of those broken ones out there, it changes the nature of the church. It changes the nature of society. That's why Satan works so hard to undermine it. Because if you're in a church and here's two people that pledge to believe and follow Jesus and everything, and they've decided, even though they promised before God that they will never give up on each other, they just decided, well, we fell out of love. We're bored. I'm not happy anymore. We're going to get divorced over an irreconcilable difference of opinion. And everybody in the church goes, well, it happens. It shouldn't. That is a sin and a lie, and they have broken a covenant to God. They have betrayed each other. The one thing I hate is nowadays people are getting divorces and they come out that we've decided we have grown apart. We love each other. We're friends, and well, go enjoy your life, ex-husband. Go, I bless you. And they do this whole thing, right? And then 6 months later, the wife goes, and I know I'm going to tell you he cheated on me. And like all this stuff comes out later. The truth is, it's a lie to say, I divorce you in love. It's an act of hatred. Nobody divorces someone and says, I can't live with you. I'm not keeping the promise I made before God. I need you out of my life. Then nobody does that and says, but I love you, because it would be a lie. It is a lie. That's a lying thing to do. And so when we go, yeah, there are people who pledge themselves to another. They're both Christians. They pledge themselves forever. And in an act of total hatred, they reject each other forever. And they're just raping their kids' childhood, just destroying their kids' childhood at the same time. And we go, what was the reason? Well, not happy. I'm bored. I need to grow as a person. We don't have anything in common. Do you understand what that does to your brain when you look at God? If you can wash your hands of a person, you can't wash your hands of him. You're not thinking he could wash his hands of you at any moment. You give up on a person that easy. You don't think you're putting that into his mind and your imagination, seeing it that way. Of course you are. These things are incredibly damaging. And I think what we need to do is we need to look at what marriage is, what it does for us. And I think we just need to say, thank you, Lord. Thank you for giving us this incredible thing. And we apologize for what we as a species have done to the beautiful gift you gave us, how we corrupted it and how we blamed you for everything, every defilement we did to it. We blamed it on you. Said it's just stupid. It's not made for human nature, all this. It is made to transcend your human nature. It's made to bless you, and we've mishandled it. Even us that are still married and we're still working on this thing, I guarantee you there are places you've just given up and you've accepted something God doesn't want you to accept. And it's an insult to him. Again, this isn't a blessing. This is a sacrament. It's not something to go, oh, no, thank you. You're saying no thank you to your relationship with Jesus. It's like saying no thank you to communion, no thank you to baptism. It's a heck of a lot more serious than we're giving it credit for being. To say, God, I don't want to grow closer to you. It's too hard to love this woman. I'm not going to do it. That's not going to be okay. And it's not okay for a whole church to be doing it en masse. That's going to be a big issue. So what I want to say today is let's return to the altar, to that marriage altar. Let's return to our spouses, those people that Jesus loved, who he made in his image, who he died for. Let's return to those people. And let us return to Jesus, our eternal and spiritual bridegroom. He who is so faithful, so generous, so gentle, so humble of heart. Let us be true husbands and wives, true spouses to the Lamb. We're only going to learn it in one place. Then our love will be sweetened and strengthened, and it shall speak in all of love's languages. It shall revel in marriage that outshines sin and the world's cheap counterfeits of love and passion. It'll be a marriage that creates true homes and true families, refuges from the world, places that reflect the glories of heaven itself. It'll be a marriage that raises up children that are healthy and whole and holy in a way we've ceased to expect or even hope for. It will be marriage that purifies and introduces our heart to the self-sacrificing love for God that you can't be a true disciple without having. We'll learn in marriage how to love Jesus the way he already loves us. It is all these things, and in fact, it's even more. So, yeah, let's not just look to our spouses today with repentance and renewal. Let's do that. But let's take a step beyond that. Let's look at Jesus. Let's look at the whole gift of marriage and say, I do to him. Or better yet, say, I plight thee my troth. I give. I push all the chips in. I commit without looking any further than that. I do the right thing because you called me to it. And essentially, that is my closing prayer. So I'll just end it there and say, God bless you guys, and go with God. That's it.